What's up, Hoya fans? This is Tim Adleman here. Just doing a little Q&A for the Hoyas and the Pros segment. I'm here in Lakeland, Florida for Spring Training 2020. Before we get started, I'll just give you a little background on myself. I grew up in Raleigh, North Carolina and graduated in 2010. And after I graduated, was drafted in the 24th round by the Baltimore Orioles and bounced around in the minor leagues for a few years, and was fortunate enough in 16 to make my debut with the Cincinnati Reds, and spent most of the season in 16 and 17 with Cincinnati in the big leagues, and then took an opportunity in 18 to go play in Korea for the Samsung Lions. And that actually brings me to my first question, which is, you played for Samsung in 2018. What was it like playing baseball in a different country? How was that experience? And it was great. It was a really good opportunity for me to go over there and play and experience baseball in a different culture in a different country. So it's something that I would do again if I got the opportunity, and ended up putting together a pretty solid year. So I was pretty fortunate to be in that position and had a good time over there. So when coming back to play in 19, I had a little trouble signing a contract with an affiliated team, so I ended up playing independent ball for about a month or so. And the second question is, what's the difference in independent ball and affiliated ball? And so the biggest difference to me is just the organization and the scheduling of each day. So in affiliated baseball, you have a strength coach that runs you through stretch and gives you a certain type of conditioning for that day, and sort of monitors your physical activity and how many times you lift weights and whatnot. In independent ball, there is no strength coach. So lifting weights, doing your running, taking care of your arm and your shoulder is all up to you as the player. So that's the biggest thing, is just, it's more of your responsibility personally to take care of yourself and do your conditioning and be ready to go each day. So after playing independent ball, I signed with the Detroit Tigers in May. And the third question is, what were some of the highs and lows of the 19 season? And the high is probably just signing back in affiliated and being healthy and pitching all season for the Detroit organization. Two of the lows were, one was that I got demoted to Double-A after I'd pitched in Triple-A for about a month and threw the ball pretty well, so that was a bit of a blow. And the second low, I would say, is that when I signed with Detroit, they expressed interest in having me pitch for them in the major leagues at some point. They have a ton of young pitchers who weren't quite ready to go up to the majors yet, and had a couple injuries as well, so it seemed like a good situation for someone to pitch well and move up, and they pegged me as a guy who could do that. And I felt like I held up my end of the bargain and threw the ball well all season and didn't get a call-up. So it was a little disappointing, but all in all, I was pretty fortunate to have a jersey on my back. So that actually goes right into the fourth question, which is, after throwing the ball well all season for AAA Toledo and partly in Double-A, was there anything that was clicking for you? And to that, I would say just fastball command and the ability to throw my changeup in any count to both right-handed and left-handed hitters. In affiliated ball today and in the major leagues, there's a huge emphasis placed on spin rate, and I'm sure you've heard of TrackMan and spin efficiency and stuff like that. So teams are putting a lot of value into pitchers who can, A, throw really, really hard, and B, pitchers who can spin good breaking balls, sliders and curveballs. So because of that, you've probably seen anyway, a lot of pitchers turn to heavy fastball breaking ball arsenals. And as a guy who can throw changeups, I think it helps me show guys a different look than what they've become accustomed to. You just don't see as many guys with heavy changeup fastball combinations. So to be able to give guys a different look is pretty big for me, and I think that's what helped me a lot last year. So the fifth and final question is, what led to you re-signing with Detroit, and what are your goals for the 2020 season? The number one thing for me re-signing with the Tigers was just the level of familiarity they had or have with me from the 2019 season. Someone like me who's bounced around a little bit and been overseas and played in AAA and all of that, it's really helpful to have a track record with one team. So if you come out and have a spring training that you're not really happy with, or you struggle a little bit in spring or struggle early on in the season, that just gives you a little bit more rope to find your way out of those struggles and get back on track. Whereas going into a new organization, sometimes not having that track record can be detrimental to you. So that was big for me. And a couple of quick goals, nothing very specific, just really to stay healthy and go back to the major leagues and pitch well there. So that about wraps it up for the Q&As. Thanks for tuning in, and Hoya Saxa.